Hello everyone and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're having an amazing week. Currently it is Tuesday and Bitcoin is pumping to the upside, as you can see right here, right now trading back above 105k, currently testing that 106k key level. Basically we got back, the price got accepted back into that range, as I was telling yesterday. Once we break out of this value area low and the weekly pivot, then I am expecting a pump to the upside, and this is exactly what happened. As you can see, the price has pumped almost 3.5% since we've got back above this weekly pivot right here. As you can see, once the Bitcoin, basically the price, once it has crossed and broke out of the weekly pivot, basically 102k and that value area low, basically the price has just skyrocketed right now and is currently testing that key level. If we enable that bigger range right here, you can see 106.8k is very key level. It's that big value area high of this range where price has struggled before, and once we broke out of this range before, we made new all-time highs, and then once again we got a fake out of this range and dump. But right now, in my opinion, if we can try and break out of this range once again, then we can possibly finally create these newer all-time highs, potentially targeting 170k for this week. This is my target for this week, basically 170k. If Bitcoin manages to get back above that value area high, this will be another 10% of a pump, which in my opinion is very possible, since our RSI perfectly touched that 20 line, as you can see to the bottom, and our momentum wave on the daily is right now clipping to the upside. So markets are looking very good right now. And even if we look at the stock market, for example, the S&P 500 is absolutely killing it right now, pushing to the upside this past 2 days with a big pump of about 3%. So basically for the stocks market, as you know, a pump of around 3% is actually a very big move. It's not like crypto that we see in the stock market a move of this big of a move, basically. So as you can see, once the S&P 500 bounced from this first weekly pivot support of around 5,930 basically, then it has been getting that push to the upside of around 3% basically. And right now, as I mentioned in my previous videos, we need to see the stock market basically continue to the upside and reach its all-time highs in order for Bitcoin to also set new all-time highs. In my opinion, they are heavily correlated. So we need to see that continuation that we're seeing right now in the stock market in order for Bitcoin to create these newer all-time highs. And also, if we look at the dollar right now, the dollar is having another massive dump to the downside. And as you know, I have been mentioning in my previous videos, always weak dollars mean strong Bitcoin, and this is exactly what we want to see right now basically. So the dollar is having a dump and Bitcoin is pumping, and the stock market is also pumping, as you know, and even Ethereum is pumping, trying to get back into that range. As you can see right now, is perfectly testing that value area low of the range. So basically 2460 is right now flipped as a very key resistance. So once Ethereum manages to get back into that range, then I'm expecting in the next coming weeks for it to potentially break out of this POC, basically this first weekly resistance 2550 basically. Then I'm expecting a push to that value area high basically, and then if we manage to get above it, then as you know, once we get above, the price tends to go up, and even here right here we got very close to $3,000 for Ethereum. So in my opinion, if in the coming next weeks the price of Bitcoin and the stock market continues to push higher, then we will be able to see that $3,000 Ethereum right now. And also something very important right now in the Bitcoin dominance, I think we've actually started this big capitulation move in the Bitcoin dominance that we saw before. So basically, as you can see, the last time this move to the downside happened for Bitcoin dominance, as you can see right now, we're forming kind of the same structure, 3 big daily candles to the downside happening right now, and it is still falling. So in my opinion, it is very, very possible that we get a very big drop to the downside for the Bitcoin dominance, and we can see these altcoins rip to the upside, as you know. So why am I thinking that? As you can see, we've had, before this move happened to the downside, we've had a pretty significant consolidation and slowly grinding to the upside, and then it found resistance and we dumped very, very hard, and right now it has been doing basically the same. So history repeats. If history repeats, we're grinding to the upside, consolidating slowly, and right now we found resistance, and I'm expecting a potential big dump for the Bitcoin dominance, and then we'll be able to see the altcoins go higher. As you can see on this drop right here in the Bitcoin dominance, for example, after we've had this drop in the Bitcoin dominance, it went from 1400 basically all the way up to almost 3000 basically to 2880. So 100% of a move when the Bitcoin dominance fell like it did right here basically. So if we manage to get another move right here to the downside like this one that we got here, then I'm expecting that move for the altcoins to happen. And why am I expecting that, you may ask? Basically, the last time that we've got this move, our momentum wave, as you can see right here, was very, very oversold, and our RSI was also overbought, I mean. And our RSI was also overbought, even flashing that green, and right now it is also flashing that green, and the momentum wave is also very excuse me, also very overbought right here, as you can see. So it is very, very possible that the Bitcoin dominance will start dropping once we've got confirmation on the daily time frames, on the RSI and the momentum waves indicator. So this is looking pretty good in my opinion, and the stock markets just have another basically almost 1%, and will be at the all-time highs for the stock market, and potentially create newer all-time highs for the stock market, and then in my opinion Bitcoin will easily create its all-time highs. But firstly, we need to manage to break out of this value area high of that bigger range. Basically 106.8k is a very, very strong resistance in my opinion, and if we manage to break out of it, as I mentioned, we will be seeing higher price targets. And now if we look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, you can see we've took out all this liquidity sitting down, and right now the price is having a bounce. Let me just refresh it so we can see the latest data in the liquidations. Yeah, so basically most of that liquidity sitting basically at the all-time highs, and we even got liquidity, guys, sitting above the all-time highs. So this is all short liquidations sitting right here, waiting to be taken out. And as you can see, price is slowly grinding to that upside in order to take out this liquidity that has been piling up right here for weeks right now basically. And also if we look at the Bitcoin ETF flows, you can see we've got another very, very big inflow of around 350 million for Bitcoin just for the day. And in my opinion, this after we've had this correction right now, the ETF inflows will basically continue throughout this week, and we'll be having a much higher price targets into the coming weeks basically. And if we look at the Fear and Greed index, you can see we just dipped down into that fear zone basically of in yesterday's videos. We were actually in that fear zone, and right now we're pushing back into that neutral zone. And believe me, if Bitcoins gets broken out of that 106k level, then the next coming weeks we will jump back into that greed zone. And even if we get near to 110, 111k, I think in my opinion that we will potentially get into that extreme greed zone and potentially create newer all-time highs for Bitcoin and also for the stock market. Right now, if you look at the exchange trade longs versus shorts ratio, you can see as of today we do have a lot of buyers. So basically we have almost 3% more longs opened into the markets on the major exchanges like Binance, Bybit, as you can see right here. So still very good for the continuation to the upside. Is that this is what we want to see. We want to see more longs against the short positions. And if we look at the funding rates, as you can see, they are right now very low. Even some of them are turning negative, but this can change very fast throughout the coming week, as you know. But this is actually very good, since they are very low. And in my opinion, we will be seeing this continuation in the next coming weeks for Bitcoin and even the altcoins. As I mentioned, if we see that Bitcoin dominance starts to drop and repeat the history like it did before, as you can see basically right here. And this will be my outlook for today's update video, guys. I hope you liked the video, subscribe for the channel, and I'll see you again on the next one. Bye.